scriptures implore us to live by faith and not by sight. Why do the scriptures tell us this? It's because when we look around us, we can get very concerned. There's a lot of craziness in our world. But our faith says that God is in control and that he is with us. And whenever God calls us to walk by faith, he will be there, and we will grow and we will stretch, and we will experience miracles that can't happen if we just walk by sight. Oh, by the way, happy Monday. My name's Ken Burkey. Hope you had a great weekend. I want to talk just a little bit about faith today, leading into this week. But before that, I have to celebrate, as we did yesterday, that we have an opening date for our building, Sunday, September 19th, 10 o'clock. We're going to be gathering together after 15 plus months as an online church. We will continue to be an online church. We will continue to provide messages and worship and everything online, YouTube and Facebook, but we will also have a gathering spot where we can come and worship and give messages of hope and grace and learn and grow about faith. So we celebrated yesterday. If you missed yesterday's message, it was really about trusting God in the shadows of life, the difficulties of life. There's a lot going on right now in our world, and we have to remember that God is with us. So September 19th, you're going to be hearing a lot about it, seeing a lot about it. We are so excited. But let me just say one thing this week. It is easy to live by sight. The world lives by sight, not by faith. Though we do put our faith in a lot of things we don't even think about. That our brakes are going to work. That our roof is going to work when it's raining. When it's raining. Hasn't rained in a while, but you know what I mean. We sit down in a chair and we have faith that it's going to hold us up. But sometimes we have trouble putting our faith in God, and we tend to live by sight. And again, if we live by sight, there's a lot of things to be concerned about. But God said he will never leave us nor forsake us. And so he asks us to live by faith. For the last 15 months, Live58 Church, we have been living by faith, doing what God has called us to do, preaching the best we can, singing the best we can, serving the best we can, and then putting the building and a place to gather in God's hands. And God's timing is perfect. And so here it is, September 19th. But when it comes to faith, as we are trusting God in difficult times, as God gives us maybe a vision that is bigger than ourselves, where we have to have faith because we can't do it on our own. It is in those times where we're saying, I'm going to have faith. I don't see it, but I'm going to have faith. That's when God does the greatest work in our lives. It's Moses at the sea's edge, and he has no way through. He has no way to escape on his own, and he puts his faith in God, and he takes a step forward, and God does the miracle. God tells Abraham, go to a foreign land, and Abraham says, where, God? And I heard a person yesterday tell me, he says, well, God doesn't Google. So when you want to know where God's taking you, you can't Google it. God's just going to say faith, one step at a time, one step. And Abraham, one step at a time, finally got to the land that God has promised him. But he had to have faith. David, with a little slingshot, faces a huge giant. The odds are against him. If he walked by sight, he would have ran the other way, but he walked by faith. And he threw that little rock and he killed a giant. The stories go on and on and on. Noah is asked to build an ark. It's never rained. People don't even know what an ark is. And he builds it for 100+ years. As people are looking, thinking he's crazy, Noah had faith in God that what God told him to do would come through. Usually when God asks us to do something great and we have to have faith, it always takes longer than we think. But when we continue in that faith and God comes through, the joy is unspeakable. The miracles are unfathomable. And so as a Live58 church, as we start to gather on September 19th, the mission and vision doesn't change. I think we'll just be able to maybe even do it in more variety and productive ways. But our message, God has given us to have faith, to be simple, to keep it about the cross and the gospel, to keep it a safe place for all to come, and to let it be a servant-focused place here locally and also globally. And as God has asked us over the last 15 months to be faithful, God has been faithful. You have been faithful. And as I said in the opener yesterday, we've only just begun, because we're going to continue. God's going to continue. This is what happens to us. I could talk about this all day, but I got to let you go. It's Monday morning. We never arrive when it comes to faith. When we grow in faith, God will take us to the next level, and he'll stretch us and he'll grow us, and we'll never become comfortable, because when we become comfortable, that is death. But when we're continuing to trust God, that is where we see the miracles. That is where we see the growth. That is where we see joy. And the coolest part here, friends, is we get to do this all together. So have a great week. Live by faith, not by sight. Some of you are in some difficult spots right now, and it's easy to look around and become overwhelmed. But remember, God is always with us. As I said yesterday, God was walking with David through the valley of the shadow of death. He is always with us, and he is especially with us during those tough times. So this week, walk by faith and not by sight. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.